Oh, shalom. Welcome to Torah and Coffee. I have my Torah, as you can see right in front of me, and my coffee. I'm enjoying both. I hope you enjoyed the Torah reading today. It is found in Deuteronomy 7, starting on verse 12 to chapter 11, verse 25. The Haftarah is found in chapter 49 of Isaiah, starting on verse 14 to chapter 5, verse 3. Then we have the BeritHadasah, which is found in Matthew, Luke, and James. I hope you enjoy the reading. So let's go right to Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 12. Starting on verse 12. And if you obey these rules and observe them carefully, Yah your God will maintain faithfully for you the covenant that he made an oath with your fathers. He will favor you and bless you and multiply you. He will bless the issues of your womb and the produce of your soil, your new grain and wine and oil, the calving of your herd and the lambing of your flock in the land that he swore to your fathers to assign to you. You shall be blessed above all other people. There shall be no still male or female among you or among your livestock. Yah will ward off from you all sickness. He will not bring upon you any of the dreadful diseases of Egypt, about which you know, but will inflict them upon all your enemies. You shall destroy all the peoples that Yah your God delivers to you, showing them no pity, and you shall not worship their gods, for that would be a snare to you. Should you say to yourselves, the nations are more numerous than we, how can we dispose them? Let me read 17. Should you say to yourself, these nations are more numerous than we, how can we dispossess them? You need not fear of them. You have but to bear in mind that Yah your God did to Pharaoh and all the Egyptians the wondrous acts that you saw with your own eyes, the signs and portions, the mighty hand and the outstretched arm, by which Yah your God liberated you. Thus will Yah your God do to all the people you now fear. Yah your God will also send a plague against them until those who are left in hiding perish before you. Do not stand in dread of them, for Yah your God is in your midst, a great and awesome God. Yah your God will dislodge those peoples before you a little by little. You will not be able to put an end to them at once, else the wild beasts would multiply to your hurt. 23. Yah your God will deliver them up to you, throwing them into utter panic until they are wiped out. He will deliver the kings into your hand, and you shall obliterate their name from under the heavens. No man shall stand up to you until you have wiped them out. You shall consign the images of their gods to the fire. You shall not covet the silver and the gold on them and keep it for yourselves, lest you be ensnared thereby, for that is abhorrent to Yah your God. You must not bring an abhorrent thing into your house, or you will be prescribed like it. You must reject it as abominable and abhorrent, for it is prescribed. Chapter 8, verse 1. You shall faithfully observe all the instructions that I enjoin upon you today, that you may thrive and increase and be able to possess the land that Yah promised an oath to your fathers. Remember the long way to Yah your God, has made you travel in the wilderness these past 40 years, that he might test you by hardship to learn what was in your hearts, whether you would keep his commandments or not. He subjected you to hardship of hunger and then gave you manna to eat, which neither you nor your father had ever known, in order to teach you that man does not live on bread alone, but that man may live on anything that Yah decrees. The clothes upon you did not wear out, nor did your feet swell these 40 years. Bear in mind that Yah your God disciplines you, just as a man disciplines his son. Therefore, keep the commandments of Yah your God, walk in his ways, and revere him. For Yah your God is bringing you into a good land, a land with streams and springs and fountains issuing from plain and hill, a land of wheat and barley, of wines, fig and pomegranate, a land of olive trees and honey, a land where you may eat food without stint, where you will lack nothing, a land whose rocks are iron, and from whose hills you can mine copper. 10. When you have eaten your fill, give thanks to Yah your God for the good land which he has given you. Take care lest you forget Yah your God and fail to keep his commandments, his rules, and his laws, which he enjoins upon you today. When you have eaten your fill and have built fine houses to live in, and your herds and flocks have multiplied, and your silver and gold have increased, and everything you own has prospered, beware lest your heart grow hardy, and you forget Yah your God, who freed you from the land of Egypt, the house of bondage, who led you through the great and terrible wilderness with its serpents and scorpions, a parched land with no water in it, who brought forth water for you from the flinty rock, who fed you in the wilderness with manna, which your father had never known, in order to test you by hardship, only to benefit you in the end. And you say to yourself, my own power and the might of my own hand have won this wealth for me. Remember that it is Yah your God who gives you the power to great wealth in fulfillment of the covenant that he made an oath with your fathers, as is still the case. If you do forget Yah and your God and follow other gods to serve them or bow down to them, I warn you this day that you shall certainly perish, like the nations that Yah will cause to perish before you. So shall you perish, because you did not heed Yah your God. Chapter 9, verse 1. Hear, O Israel, you are about to cross the Jordan to go in and dispossess nations greater and more populous than you, great cities with walls sky high, a people great and tall, the Anakites, of whom you have knowledge, for you have heard it said, who can stand up to the children of Anak? Know then that this day none other than Yah your God is crossing at your head. A devouring fire, it is he who will wipe them out. He will subdue them before you, that you may quickly dispossess and destroy them, as Yah promised you. And then Yah your God has thrust them from your path. Say not to ourselves, Yah has enabled us to possess this land because of our virtues. It is rather because of the wickedness of those nations that Yah has is dispossessing from before you. It is not because of your virtue and your rectitude that you will be able to possess their land, their country, but it is because of their wickedness that Yah, your God, is disposing these nations before you, and in order to fulfill the oath that Yah made to your fathers, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. Know then that it is not for any virtue of yours that Yah, your God, is giving you this good land to possess, for you are a stiff-necked people. Remember, never forget how you provoked Yah, your God, to anger in the wilderness from the day that you left the land of Egypt until you reached this place. You have continued defiant towards Yah. At Horeb, you so provoked Yah that God was angry enough for you to have destroyed you. I had ascended the mountain to receive the tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant that Yah had made with you, and stayed on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights, eating no bread and drinking no water. 10. And Yah gave the 2 tablets of stone inscribed by the finger of Yah, with the exact words that Yah had addressed to you on the mountain out of the fire on the day of the assembly. At the end of those 40 days and 40 nights, Yah gave me the 2 tablets of stone, the tablets of the covenant. And Yah said to me, hurry, go down from there at once, for the people whom you brought out of Egypt have acted wildly. They have been quick to stray from the path that I enjoined upon them. They have made themselves a molten image. Yah further said to me, I see that this is a stiff-necked people. Let me alone, and I will destroy them and blot out their name from under heaven. And I will make you a nation far more numerous than they. I started on the mountain, a mountain placed with fire, the 2 tablets of the covenant in my 2 hands. I saw how you had sinned against Yah, your God. You have made yourselves a molten calf. You have been quick to stray from the path that Yah had enjoined upon you. Thereupon I stripped the 2 tablets and flung them away with both hands and smashed them before your eyes. I threw myself down before Yah, eating no bread and drinking no water, 40 days and 40 nights as before, because of the great wrong you had committed, doing what displeased Yah and vexing him. For I was in dread of Yah's fierce anger against you, which moved him to wipe you out. And that time, too, Yah gave heed to me. Moreover, Yah was angry enough with Aaron, to have destroyed him. So I also interceded for Aaron at this time. As for that sinful thing you have made, the calf, I took it and put it to the fire. I broke it into bits and ground it thoroughly until it was fine as dust, and I threw it with dust into the brook that comes down from the mountain. Again you provoked Yah at Teperah and at Massa and at Kibroth Hattaavah. And when Yah sent you on from Kadesh Barnea, saying, Go up and take possession of the land that I am giving you. You flouted the command of Yah, your God. You did not put your trust in him and did not obey him. 24. As long as I have known you, you have been defiant towards Yah. When I lay prostrate before Yah those 40 days and 40 nights, because Yah was determined to destroy you, I prayed to Yah and said, O Yah, do not annihilate your very own people, whom you redeemed in your majesty and whom you fled from Egypt with a mighty hand. Give thought to your servants, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Jacob, and pray no heed to the stubbornness of these people, its wickedness and its sinfulness. Else the country from which you feed us will say, It was because Yah was powerless to bring them into the land that he had promised them, and because he rejected them, he had brought them out to have them die in the wilderness. Yet they are your very own people, whom you freed with your great and mighty and your outstretched arm. Chapter 10. Thereupon Yah said to me, Carve out 2 tablets of stone like the first, and come up to me on the mountain, and make an ark of wood. I inscribed on the tablet the commandments that were in the first tablet that you smashed, and you shall deposit them in the ark. I made an ark of acacia wood and carved out 2 tablets of stone like the first. I took the 2 tablets with me and went up the mountain. Yah inscribed on the tablets the same text as on the first, the 10 commandments that he addressed to you on the mountain out of the fire on the day of assembly, and Yah gave them to me. Then I left and went down from the mountain, and I deposited tablets in the ark that I made, where they still are, as Yah had commanded me. From Beroah, Bene, Yakan, the Israelites marched to Moserah. Aaron died there and was buried there, and his son Eleazar became Cohen in his stead. Let me read verse 6 again. From Beroah ben Yakan, the Israelites marched to Moserah. Aaron died there and was buried there, and his son Eleazar became Cohen in his stead. From there they marched to Gudgad, and from Gudgad to Jotbath, a region of running brooks. At the time Yah set apart the tribe of Levi to carry the Aaron ben Hasham, to stand in attendance upon Yah and to bless his name, as is still the case. This was why the Levium, who received the hereditary portion along with the kinsmen, Yah is the portion, as Yah your God spoke concerning them. I had stayed on the mountain as I did the first time, 40 days and 40 nights, and Yah heeded me. Once again, Yah agreed not to destroy you. 11. And Yah said to me, Up, resume the march at the head of the people, that they may go in and possess the land that I swear to their fathers to give them. And now, O Israel, what does Yah your God demand of you? Only this, to revere Yah your God, to walk only in his path, to love him, and to serve Yah your God with all your heart and soul. keeping Yah's commandments and laws, which I enjoin upon you today for your God. Mark the heavens to the uttermost reaches along to Yah your God, the earth and all that is on it. Yet it was to your father that Yah has drawn in his love for them, so that he chose you, the lineal descendants from among all people. It is now the case. Cut away, therefore, the thickening about your heads. Cut away, therefore, the thickening of your hearts, and stiffen your neck no more. For Yah your God is God supreme and Lord supreme, the great, the mighty, and the awesome Yah, who shows no favor and takes no bribe, but upholds the cause of the fathers and the widows and befriends the stranger, providing him with food and clothing. You too must befriend the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. You must revere Yah your God. Only him shall you worship. To him shall you hold fast, and by his name shall you swear. He is your glory, and he is your God, who brought 21. He is your glory, and he is your God, who brought forth you this marvelous, awesome deeds that you saw with your own eyes. Your ancestors went down to Egypt, 70 persons in all, and now Yah your God has made you as numerous as the stars of heaven. Chapter 11. Love therefore Yah your God, and always keep his charge, his laws, his rules, and his commandments. Take thought this day that it was not your children who neither experienced nor witnessed the lessons of Yah your God, his majesty, his mighty hand, his outstretched arm, the signs and the deeds that he performed in Egypt against Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and all the land. What he did to Egypt's army, its horses and chariots, how Yah rolled back upon them the waters of the Sea of Reeds when they were pursuing you, thus destroying them once and for all. What he did for you in the wilderness before you arrived in this place, and what he did to Dathan and Ephraim, son of Eliab, son of Reuben, when the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them, along with the households, their tents, and every living thing in their train, from amidst all Israel. By that it was you who saw with your own eyes all the marvelous deeds that Yah performed. Keep therefore all the instructions that I enjoin upon you today, so that you may have the strength to enter and take possession of the land that you are about to cross into and possess, and that you may long endure upon the soil that Yah swore to your fathers to assign to them, to their heirs, a land flowing with milk and honey. For the land that you are about to enter and possess is not like the land of Egypt from which you have come. There the grain you sowed had to be watered by your own labor, like a vegetable garden. But the land you are about to cross into and possess, a land of hills and valleys, soaks up its waters from the rains of heaven. It is a land which Yah your God looks after, on which Yah your God always keeps his eye, from year's beginning to year's end. If then you obey the commandments that I enjoin upon you this day, loving Yah your God and serving him with all your heart and your soul, I will grant the rain for your land in season, the early rain and the late you will gather in your new grain and wine and oil. It will also provide grass in the fields for your cattle, and thus you shall eat your fill. Take care not to be lured away to serve other gods and bow to them. For Yah's anger will flare up against you, and he will shut up the skies so that there will be no rain, and the ground will not yield its produce, and you soon perish from the good land that Yah is assigned to you. Therefore, impress these my words upon your very heart. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. And teach them to your children, reciting them when you stay at home, and when you are away, when you lie down, and when you get up, and inscribe them on your doorposts of your houses and on your gates, to the end that you and your children may endure in the land that Yah swore to your fathers to assign to them, as long as there is a heaven over the earth. If you faithfully keep all the instructions that I commanded you, loving Yah your God, walking in his ways, and holding fast to him, Yah will dislodge before you all these nations. You will dispossess nations greater and more numerous than you. Every spot on which your foot treads shall be yours. Your territory shall extend from the wilderness to the Lebanon, and from the river, the Euphrates, to the western sea. No man shall stand up to you. Yah, your God, will put the dread and fear of you over the whole land in which you set your foot, as he promised you. Oh, hallelujah. And I'm going to add verse 26. See, this day I set before you a blessing and a cursing. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, thank you, Father. Well, might as well read it to the end. Verse 27. Blessing if you obey the commandments of Yah, your God, that I enjoin upon you this day, and curse if you do not obey the commandments of Yah, your God, but turn away from the path that I enjoin upon you this day, and follow other gods whom you have not experienced. When Yah, your God, brings you into the land that you are about to enter and possess, you shall pronounce the blessings of Mount Gerizim and Mount Har. Both are on the other side of the Jordan, beyond the west road, that is the land of the Canaanites, who dwell in Arba, near Gilgal, by the terebinths of Moreh. For you are about to cross the Jordan to enter and possess the land that Yah, your God, assigned to you when you have occupied it and are settled in it. Take care to observe all the laws and rules that I have set before you this day. Excuse me. Wow. Now for the reading of the Haftarah, we'll start in Isaiah 49, starting on verse 14 through 51, verse 3. Isaiah 49:14. Zion says, Yah has forsaken me, my Lord has forgotten me. Can a woman forget her baby, or disown her child of her womb, so she might forget? I never could forget you. See, I have engraved you on my palms. on the palms of my hands. Your walls are ever before me. Swiftly your children are coming. Those who ravage and ruin you shall leave you. Look up all around you and see. They are all assembled. I'll come to you as I live, declares Yah. You shall adorn them all like jackals. Deck yourself with them like a bride. As for your ruins and desolate places, and your land laid waste, you shall soon be drowned with settlers, while destroyers stay far from you. The children you thought you had lost shall yet say in your hearing, the place is too crowded for me. Make room for me to settle. And you will say to yourself, who bore these for me? When I was bereaved and barren, exiled and distant, by whom then were these reared? By whom then were these reared? I was left all alone, and where have these been? Thus said Yah, I will raise my hand to nations, and lift up my ensign to peoples, and they shall bring your sons in their bosoms, and carry your daughters on their backs. Kings shall tend your children, the queens shall serve you as nurses. They shall bow to you, face to the ground, and lick the dust of your feet, and you shall know that I am Yah. Those who trust in me shall not be shamed. Can spoil be taken from a warrior, or captives retrieved from a victor? At first said Yah, captives shall be taken from the warrior, and spoil shall be retrieved from the tyrant. For I will contend with your adversaries, and I will deliver your children. I will make your oppressors eat their own flesh. They shall be drunk with their own blood, as with wine, and all mankind shall bow that I am Yah, am your Savior, the mighty one of Yaakov, your Redeemer. Isaiah chapter 50, verse 1. Thus said Yah, where is the bill of divorce of your mother whom I dismissed? And which of my creditors was it to whom I sold you off? You were only sold off to your sin. You were only sold off for your sin, and your mother dismissed for her crimes. Why, when I came, was no one there? Why, when I called, would none respond? Is my arm then too short to rescue? Have I not the power to save? With a mere rebuke I dry up the sea and turn rivers into deserts. The fish stink from lack of water, they lie dead of thirst. I close the skies in blackness and make them remnant sackcloth. Yah gave me a skilled tongue to know how to speak timely words to the weary. Morning by morning he rouses my ear to give heed to heed like disciples. Yah opened my ears, and I did not obey. I did not run away. I offered my back to the floggers, and my cheeks to those who tore out my hair. I did not hide my face from insult and spit. But Yah will help me. Therefore I feel no disgrace. Therefore I have set my face like flint, and I know I shall not be shamed. My vindicator is at hand. Who dares contend with me? Let us stand up together. Woe would be my opponent. Let him approach me. Lo, Yah will help me. Who can get a verdict against me? They shall all wear out like a garment. The moth shall consume them. Who among you reveres Yah and heeds the voice of his servant? Though he walk in darkness and have no light, let him trust in the name of Yah and rely upon his God. But you are like kindlers of fire, girding on firebrands. Walk by the place of your fire, by the brands that you have lit. This is come to you from my hand. You shall lie down in pain. 51:1. Listen to me, who you pursue justice. Let's read over again. 51:1. Listen to me, you who pursue justice, you who seek Yah. Look to the rock you were hewn from, to the quarry you were dug from. Look back to Abraham, your father, and to Sarah, who brought you forth, for he was only one when I called him, but I blessed him and made him many. Truly, Yah has comforted Zion, comforted all her ruin. He has made every wilderness like Eden, her desert like the garden of Yah. Gladness and joy shall abide there, thanksgiving and the sound of music. This completes the Haftarah. Let's read what Yah has to say in the BeritHadasah. And now the reading in the BeritHadasah, or the New Testament. We're going to be reading Matthew 4:1-11, Luke 4:1-13, and James 5:7-11. Let's start in reading Matthew 4:1. Then the Spirit led Yeshua into the wilderness to be tempted by the adversary. After Yeshua had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. The tempter came and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, order these stones to become bread." But he answered him, "The Tanakh says, man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of Adonai." Then the adversary took him to a holy city and set him on a high point at the temple. "If you are the Son of God," he said, "jump." For the Tanakh says, he will order his angels to be present for you, that will support you with their hands, so that you will not hurt your feet on the stones. Yeshua reflected, but it also says, do not put Adonai, your God, to a test. Once more, the adversary took him up to the summit of a very high mountain, showed him all the kingdoms of the world in all the glory, and said to him, "All this I will give to you, if you will bow down and worship me." "Away with you, Satan," Yeshua told him, for it is in the Tanakh says, "Worship Adonai your God and serve him only." Then the adversary left him alone, and angels came and took care of him. Luke chapter 4:1-13. Then Yeshua, filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, returned from the Jordan and was led by the Spirit into the wilderness for 40 days of testing by the adversary. During that time he ate nothing, and afterwards he was hungry. The adversary said to him, "If you are the Son of God, order these stones to become bread." Yeshua answered him, "The Tanakh says, man does not live on bread alone." The adversary took him up, showed him in an instant all the kingdoms of the world, and said to him, "I will give you all this power and glory. It has been handed over to me, and I can give it to whomever I choose. So if you will worship me, it will all be yours. Yeshua answered him, the Tanakh said, worship Adonai your God and serve him only. Then he took him to Jerusalem to set him on the highest point of the temple and said to him, if you are the Son of God, jump from here. For the Tanakh says, he will order his angels to be responsible for you and to protect you. They will support you with their hands so that you will not hurt your foot on a stone. And Yeshua answered him, it also says, do not put Adonai your God to test. When the adversary had ended all this testing, he led him alone until an opportune time. Let's go to James chapter 5, verse 7, James 5, starting on verse 7 through 11. James 5, chapter 5, verse 7. So, brethren, be patient until the Lord returns. See how the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth. He is patient over it until it receives the fall and spring rains. You too, be patient. Keep up your courage, for the Lord's return is near. Don't grumble against one another, brother, so that you won't come under condemnation. Look, the church is standing at the door. As an example of suffering, mistreatment, and bearing patience, brothers, take the prophets who spoke in the name of Adonai. Look, we regard those who persevered as blessed. You have heard of the perseverance of Job, and you know what the purpose of Adonai was, that Adonai is very compassionate and merciful. Thank you. This will conclude the reading of the Torah, the Haftarah and the BeritHadasah. Until next week, where we join again in coffee and Torah, or Torah and coffee. May Yah bless you and keep you. May he shine his light upon you. May he lead you into his truth and righteousness, and fill you with his shalom in Yeshua's name. Amen. Till later. Amen.